The national drink of Bermuda and not the national drink of Bermuda. Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. Got another cocktail video coming at you today. Over the past month or two, we've been doing a lot of drinks that have bitters and creams, and some people think that maybe we should actually talk about a few cocktails that you'd want to drink during the summer. So today we're going to have one of my favorite summer cocktails, the Dark and Stormy. The Dark and Stormy comes from Bermuda. They think it was invented sometime a little bit after World War I. It was invented by British Navy officers who had frequented the island. The name of the Dark and Stormy comes from the way the traditional Dark and Stormy is made, where you have a dark cloud over a lighter lower part of the cocktail. In 1991, the cocktail was trademarked by Goslings. So now technically, if you make a Dark and Stormy, you have to have Goslings Rum in it, which is why today we're going to make you a Dark and Stormy and a Dim and Inclement. Alright, before we make the cocktail, I think it's important to try our base spirit, in this case, especially one where this is the trademarked rum to use in this cocktail. It's a very, very heavy rum. It's a very molassesy nose. Yeah, it's very thick. So on the palate, it's kind of interesting. The finish is fairly thin, but it has a very oily mouthfeel. So it's not thick like like your Jamaican rums. It doesn't have that funkiness, but it is a thick mouthfeel rum. I think it's a fairly sweet rum. If you're putting this in a lot of your cocktails, I would maybe cut back on your sweetener just a little bit. Yeah, I hate to keep going back to molasses, but this rum is, there's just nothing but molasses in this rum. Very thick mouthfeel, a little short on the finish, but still a really good rum, and I think will be great in a lot of cocktails. So now we've tried this out, let's see how it tastes in our cocktail. Alright, now that we know a little bit about the history of the cocktail, and we've sampled the base spirit, let's go ahead and make the sort of traditional Dark and Stormy as Goslings have intended it. So we're going to start off. I use these little drink straw / stir spoons. They're nice for when you want to stir the drink up. In this case, you're probably going to want to eventually stir it up, but it is kind of based on looking the way it is without being stirred. So we're just going to go ahead and fill this up with, fill our glass up with ice. Here I'm using a Tom Collins glass. You could also use a highball glass, that'd be just fine. So you're going to start off, and I'm actually not going to measure this part. Basically what you want to do is you want to fill up your Collins glass until there's about 60 mils or 2 ounces at the top. Just let that fill up. We got about 2 ounces at the top. Go ahead and get our spirit. And it actually calls for 1.5 ounces of your rum. So go ahead and toss that right on top of there. And you want to dump this in kind of slow, because you're kind of going for this desired effect of the clouds over your vessel, presumably. All right, so this is a really simple cocktail, but this is going to be basically the orthodox Dark and Stormy. Now that we've seen the orthodox, let's take a look at our Dim and Inclement. All right, now that we've done our traditional Dark and Stormy, we're going to do our Dim and Inclement. So now that we're freed up from the confines of doing a traditional Dark and Stormy, we can do it kind of a little bit differently. We'll start off the same way. We're going to prepare our cocktail glass with our little straw and spoon. fill that right up to the top. So the first thing we're going to add is we're going to add some lime juice. So you're going to go ahead and cut your lime in half. Get your squeezer. And we're going to do 1 ounce of fresh lime juice. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and toss that in our small tin. Now, I'm switching up our rums. So the first thing I'm going to use is Doctor Bird. This is a Jamaican rum. It is a especially funky Jamaican rum. So we're just going to use 1 ounce of Doctor Bird. And we're going to kind of temper that a little bit with 1 ounce of Doorley's 8-year. So this is a Barbados rum. It's not going to have any funk in it. It's going to have a real natural, sort of clean rum flavor. And this has no sugar added to it as well. Alright. Already got some ice on our shaker. So we're going to go ahead and pour that in. Just going to shake that up for about 10-15 seconds. Alright. Once you got that all shaken up, I'm going to do a double strain because we definitely got some pulp in there. Just going to strain that right into the glass. And just kind of tap the side of your fine mesh strainer just to get all your liquid out of there. And now we're going to stick with the same ginger beer because we're going to be tasting these next to each other and we kind of want to see which one we like the best. So just top that off with your ginger beer. The nice thing about these little stir straws with the spoons at the end, you can just use that to just give it a real quick stir. Alright, now that we've made our faux dark and stormy, let's test them against each other and see which one we like the best. Alright, now that we have our 2 cocktails made, I'm just going to do a quick garnish on both of them. We're just going to do a lime wedge on both. Alright, let's start off with the traditional. So this is the traditional Goslings Dark and Stormy. And the one thing that's going to be a little interesting about this cocktail is over time your rum is going to fall down into the cocktail and it's going to sort of evolve. So when you first sip this thing, you're primarily just going to be getting your ginger beer because that's what's in the bottom. So we're actually going to mix this just a little bit, give it maybe a little bit fairer of a shake. And also with this one, add a little bit of lime juice in there too. That's going to improve the cocktail a little bit. So it's a really solid beach time cocktail. It doesn't have a lot of complexity. I would still definitely drink it on a beach. Let's try our faux, see what we think of that. Okay, now this is going to be something, and this the interesting thing about doing this is you can customize this a lot. I am someone who is a very big fan of your funky Jamaican rums. So this one, we got some funk in there. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there. It's bringing another dimension to the drink. We've got our lime juice in there, which is also bringing another dimension to this drink. I definitely think that adding those to the cocktail is going to help you out a lot. The traditional is perfectly fine. The thing that's really nice about it is if you have people over, all you need is your rum, your ginger beer, and you're done. And over time, you're going to get more of your rum kind of down into the drink. Overall, if I was going to sit by my pool, which I don't have, I would go ahead and make my dim and inclement. But in the comments below, please tell me what you think. Which cocktail do you prefer? If you're going to make a dark and stormy rum, or rums would you use? And I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have a good drink and have a good day.